Hello, welcome to a Creative Expressions video. I'm Christine, and in today's video we're going to play around with Crafty Concoctions and sort of showing the technique that's typically called caught in crystal, but this time we're using texture paste from the Crafty Concoctions range to actually create this effect. So I've started off by cutting half a sheet of some of Jamie's clear acetate. It's really lovely this because it's a thinner kind of acetate, so if you did want to experiment and try and die cut this after you're done, this is going to give you the best chance of die cutting it because it's a nice thin acetate. And then I've also selected the Opalian paste, which is called Optigold, the colour of it. It's absolutely beautiful, really gorgeous, like gold mica sort of flake pieces within this texture paste. Then I thought we'd do a mixture of purple and blue. So I've got Reagent Plum and Photon Nightfall, and now I'm saying those two colours out loud, I feel like the previous video I did used these two colours as well. But anyway, we're going with purple and blue again because I wanted to use the Nebula Constellation Atomix glitter, and it is one of the colour changing ones, and it goes from purple to blue, so I thought it'd be quite a nice different variation for this beautiful caught in crystal technique. The way I've been doing this technique is I've been working on a piece of scrap paper so I can easily move this off my desk. I've been working on half a sheet of acetate at a time, just so that I've got a workable kind of piece that I could possibly turn into two backgrounds, maybe do a complete background and then a scrap on another card as well, depending what sort of project I'm doing. But if you like to make larger cards, feel free to work on a full A4 sheet as you're doing this. And then once we've got our paper and our acetate, and we've picked our paste, our glitter, and our Chromalab inks, you also need a palette knife. Any kind of palette knife you want to use, can be plastic, can be metal, whatever one you have in your stash. And you're also going to want some tissue. So this is literally just white gift wrap tissue that's been gifted to me in a gift, and I sort of save all of them, all of the different pieces. I've got like patterned ones, coloured ones, but I specifically want white for this so that we really see those beautiful colours of the Chromalab inks and the Atomix glitters coming through. But you definitely can use patterned ones and coloured tissue papers as well. And this was already like this just because it's been used to like protect a gift or something. But if you have got a fresh sort of piece of gift wrap tissue, maybe you've bought a packet of this for this technique, just give it a good scrunch so it's nice and wrinkled. And the idea behind this caught in crystal technique, if you've never seen it before, is you add your medium onto your acetate. Now in the past people have used like floor polish, crystal lacquer, glossy accents, gloss gel medium, those kinds of things to do this technique with, but we're going to do it with the texture pastes, which Jamie showed this technique. I don't know if he actually demoed it, I can't remember now, but he showed some cards using this technique when he launched the Crafty Concoctions brand, and I hadn't given this a go, so I've been dying to actually try this out. So we're starting with texture paste. You spread it all over your piece of acetate. Then I've actually been spraying it with a bit of water. Because we're using a texture paste, it's thicker than the other kind of mediums that you might use to do the caught in crystal. So I've been spreading texture paste on, spraying with water, then putting some of my Chromalab inks on, spraying with more water to make the inks move, and sort of poking it with my palette knife to help them move, sprinkling on the Atomix glitter, and then you press the tissue on top of it, and then you leave it to dry. And when it has dried, you don't peel the tissue off, you leave the tissue on, it's part of the actual background. And I do have other variations already dried that I'm going to show you once we've actually done this background as well, but I wanted to run through the actual process with you first so you kind of know what to expect as you're watching it. So the first thing that we want to do is open up our gorgeous texture paste. Well, we're going to use a decent amount of this paste. It's not a, I mean, I guess it's probably the same amount you would use if you're doing an overall background with a stencil, so it's not too much of, paste usage, but we're just going to spread a few little clumps of this onto the background, just covering roughly kind of the area that I want to work with. I don't want to go too close to the edges, because if we do go really close to the edges and then when we press the tissue on it squidges out, it's going to sort of get stuck and like bleed into our piece of paper that's underneath here, which isn't the end of the world, but I just want to try and contain it within the actual acetate. So I'm going to add a bit more of this in a few areas, so we've got a decent amount I can hold this up to you and you can kind of see the amount that we've got here. It's kind of thicker in some areas and thinner in others, but a lovely kind of messy plastering kind of application of it on here. And we will be moving this around a little bit more as we go as well. Then, once we've got this, as I said, I've been spraying it with a bit of water. So any spray bottle of water that you have, I'm just going to spray a few sprays just to kind of loosen up the paste a little bit, so it's a little bit more like malleable and it's going to spread around even nicer than it currently is. Then, as I said, we're going with purple and blue colour scheme. So I've got Reagent, Plum and Photon Nightfall. And as I said, I've got some prepared, and the way I was just adding the colour for these, because I did 3 of them yesterday, was doing 1 dot, 1 dot, and then 1 dot of the colour. Doesn't matter if it drags across like that, that's totally fine. And then taking the other colour and doing 1 dot there, 1 dot there, and 1 dot there. And I found that that was a nice adequate amount of colour for this technique. Then we're going to start with one of the colours first and just sort of move it around with our palette knife, mixing it into the paste and stopping it from being such a highly concentrated version of that colour. We're just sort of blending it out a little bit into the actual texture paste, like so. And then I'll move on to the purple and sort of blend that around nicely. And then we can also add a bit more water into here, and you can really see the colour blends out of those Chromalab inks as we're watering it down as well. So nice and sort of liquidy on here, and this is going to help the tissue kind of stick to it really nicely and adhere well down to the surface of the acetate. So we can spread that around a little bit more. You're going to want baby wipes, kitchen roll, whatever you use when you're cleaning up to hand, so that you can wipe off your palette knife as you're working. And then once we've got this down, we're going to go on to our Atomix glitter, which I'm going to use the Nebula Constellation. And I've just got a little spoon that I like to add it on with, so we can sprinkle it in different areas. And the other examples that I'll show you in a minute, you can kind of see where I've sprinkled heavier and lighter applications of the glitter, so you can go as heavy-handed or as light-handed as you want all over your background. I'll go quite heavy-handed on this one. So just adding a couple of spoonfuls of glitter all over that. And then comes in our tissue. So what you want to do is make sure it's nice and scrunched up, and then kind of scrunch it up a little bit in mid-air and place it onto your background like this. Now, if you don't mind getting really mucky fingers, just press straight into this, or if you don't like getting really mucky fingers, just take a little bit of kitchen roll, scrap paper, anything you have to hand that you can kind of press it down with, and it stops you from getting all of that ink all over your fingers. So we can press this down really nicely, just pouncing, not sliding because you might rip the tissue, and being gentle as you go. And the idea is, as you're pressing this down, is you don't want there to be any of these like white wrinkles. So, I mean, this is a tiny little wrinkle just here, but you kind of want to avoid that. But that's where the tissue kind of folds down on top of itself, and there's not enough kind of medium to saturate into it. But you can see I just poked it there and it went down more into the colour and got a little bit more saturated. So that is what we're aiming to do, because we really want this tissue to be in contact with the texture paste and the Chromalab inks and the Atomix glitter, and it's all going to sort of meld into a beautiful background. So once we've got to this point, you can actually do a little sneak peek and pick this up and carefully hold it in mid-air still, but you can carefully kind of flip it over and have a look at it. And because this one we've used the Optigold in there, it's going to have a very gold kind of shimmer to it, and I'll show you a dried version. It is a bluey green version rather than a purpley blue one, but I'll show you a dried version of this as well, so you can really see what it looks like once it's dry. Okay, before I show you an Optigold one of it dry, because I've actually finished that into a couple of cards to show you how you can use these backgrounds, I want to show you the 3 other options. So again, any colour, any glitter works with it, but I want to show you the difference between the different texture pastes that are part of the Crafty Concoctions brand. So the one I'll show you later is the Optigold. This one here is using the clear texture paste. Now, this side is technically the back of the kind of technique. But if you really like this side, there's nothing to stop you from using it, and the cards I'll show you in a minute, I actually used this side on one of them as well to show the difference between them. But the actual bit that you're looking at, like properly using on your card, is this side. So you've got this beautiful mottled colour kind of technique with the gorgeous glitter all over it, and this one is just the clear texture paste, so it's just like basically just like looking at the acetate really. There's nothing else interfering with it. Sorry you can see my reflection of my camera in it, but it's a little bit difficult to show shiny acetate without seeing a load of reflections in there. But it's really, really beautiful, and when you're mounting this onto a card, if you put a mirror card behind it, it kind of amplifies the effect a bit more as well. Because it's acetate, you can see through it, like you can see my hand through it. But if you put it onto mirror card, I find that it always looks beautiful because it kind of adds to that reflection. So this is silver mirror card, but the gold mirror card looks brilliant depending on what colour scheme you're going for, really. You know, gives it a different kind of look, but it looks absolutely beautiful with all those crinkles in there and the gorgeous sprinkling of glitter. And if you want to know the colours that I used for this one, this was Molecular Rose and Reagent Plum in the Chromalab inks. Then I used the Colloidal Violet in the Atomix glitter, which is a lovely light purple colour. And I had used the Blendite texture paste in the transparent version. So just clear texture paste for that one. And that is the result that you get if you use the clear. You get a really crisp, clear kind of look through the acetate, which is really gorgeous. Then this one here, again, this is technically the back, but it looks beautiful and you can use it either way around. This one is using the clear shards version of the texture paste. So if I hold it up really closely, it's very difficult with the reflection of the camera, but I'm kind of hoping that you can see a bit of that texture in there of the clear shard paste. It's really difficult to show. I don't know if I show it from the back, maybe you can see it better. Maybe it's because I'm holding it with my hand underneath it that you can't see it as well. Let's try the other way up. There you go. You can see that texture in there. Really, really gorgeous texture. It's just like the clear little gritty pieces of the clear shard paste. It's really beautiful. And this one is just a sort of orangey reddy kind of colour tone, and that's showing it on silver mirror card, but if you put it on gold mirror card it will give a different effect as well. And I might as well show you. So here is it on gold mirror card, just to show the sort of difference that gives. If I kind of hold this and tuck the silver underneath as well, if I can get it to go under there, kind of see the difference that silver versus gold gives as well. So you can sort of play around with what mirror card you think is going to look really nice underneath it. But with the clear shard, we get that beautiful extra texture in there compared to just the clear texture paste. And this variation is using a Thermal Reaction and Quantum Inferno Chromalab inks. They're two of my favourites actually, I really like those ones. Iridescent Reaction, again I use this one a lot, it's really, really gorgeous, that colour. I don't tend to get drawn towards orange as much, but in this range I really have liked the orange colours. And then we have the Microgranite paste in clear shard. That's what I've used to create this beautiful orange version, and it's exactly the same process that I used for the one that I just demoed as well. And then the final one is using the white shards texture paste. So from the back, I think you can kind of see that texture from the back, and then from the front, I'll hold it up on the mirror card again in a second, but I think you can see the texture more in this one because of the white base of it. But this is this one against gold. It's picking out more of those greeny kind of tones in it. And if we put it against the silver, we're getting a little bit more of the cooler blue kind of tones against it, but really pretty. And holding it up really close, you can hopefully see that white shard texture that's in there as well. It's really beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. I've really loved doing this caught in crystal technique, and I can't believe it's taken me so many months to actually give it a go with the texture paste. But this one was the Cobalt Compound and the Photon Nightfall in the Chromalab inks. Then the Aurora Fusion Atomix glitter, which is this beautiful, lovely light blue colour. And then the Microgranite paste in white shard. That's what I've used to create this one. And then, if you want to see the dried version of the Optigold one. You may have seen these cards already on Facebook with me sharing them on the Crafty Concoctions page, but when you have that Optigold, you get that beautiful mica kind of finish across it as well. So this is just putting it onto white card, and that's the kind of effect that you get. You really see the colours coming through when you put it on top of the white card. But really gorgeous and so simple to make a card with as well. So literally just one of the patchwork frames and then one of his gorgeous butterflies on top of that with a wordie across the centre to finish this card off. And then this one, I've used the reverse side, so this is technically the back, but it gives such a lovely scrunched up texture that I think it looks really lovely used this way round as well. So whichever way round you want to use it, you know, it works perfectly. And this one has a slightly warmer feel to it because it's on top of some gold mirror card. And the gold mirror card actually on this card, I've shown this technique in a post on Facebook as well on the Crafty Concoctions page, but this is just using the clear shard paste through a stencil onto mirror card, and it gives this fantastic effect. So definitely give that a try as well. But I just wanted to show some simple versions of these backgrounds being used as well. And I thought as well, while we've got those beautiful backgrounds finished, I'll show you just how easy it is to trim these up with your guillotine and get them to be a size that you want to use. So on my guillotine, I actually have marks of where I know my favourite sized panel is. So I'm not sure if I can get 2 out of each of these. I think I'm going to have to trim them down and just get one gorgeous full-size piece, but I might be able to use the scraps on something else as well. So I'm going to trim this down like this and then trim it to about there, trim it this way, and then one more this way. And look how gorgeous that looks that way round, which is technically the back, but from the front you get the really high gloss finish on there as well. Absolutely beautiful. I really love this kind of technique, and I really like it on Jamie's acetate as well because it's nice and thin and pliable. So if you do want to give it a go, die cutting an aperture out of this, or maybe using it to make flowers and things as well. And I also have these little leftover pieces that you could make use of and do a border with them, add a little strip and have it like underneath the sentiment or something as well. I should think when I did the first one, I actually made the piece a bit longer. I'm pretty sure I did still work on an A5 piece, but I guess I made it wider height-wise so that I could cut my panel the opposite way round. But you definitely can use the offcuts for creating other cards as well. I mean, even this piece is absolutely beautiful. That could be like the wave at the bottom of a ship or something. So really gorgeous, these little offcuts. I'm definitely going to keep those. But I thought I will trim all of these down and then I can put them in my background box ready for when I want a gorgeous background to use on a card. So we've got those 3 gorgeous panels that we can easily turn into a card just like this with a simple white die cut and then the simple butterfly die cut as well. We could go more elaborate with it. We could literally just have a die cut sentiment going across it as well. A nice big Sue Wilson die cut sentiment would look lovely. And then we also have lots of these little leftovers, which I think we could definitely utilise to turn into a card, like using all 3 of the colours maybe as well. But I do think lots of these, just having these scraps in your stash will be really useful for different projects. Like this piece I think would be a lovely little bit of sea, or this could be a nice little mount for a sentiment as well. So really, really pretty. Even just having this as a random rectangle in a background, maybe a couple of them layered up together and some flowers on there too. So I think there's lots of ways of using those leftover pieces. But if you do make a larger piece and work with a full A4 sheet, then you could definitely get, you know, more full panels out for your cards. But you don't have to use a full panel either. I mean, this piece here, did I use about... If we had cut this a little bit bigger, we could have got 2 of this card out of this one panel rather than just the one panel here. But I really love having a full panel of this on a card. I think it looks absolutely beautiful. So I hope you've enjoyed this Crafty Concoctions Creative Expressions video looking at the caught-in crystal technique that you can do with your Crafty Concoctions using the Opalian paste, the clear shards, just the Blendite clear paste or the white shard paste as well, and mixing in your different Chromalab inks and your Atomix glitters as well. So really hope you've enjoyed the video. You have to let me know if you give this technique a try, or maybe you've already tried it as well. I'd love to know what your results have been. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again in the next video. Bye!